Hi folks, today I want to give you an overview about what is a Scrum development process. So let's take a look and discuss what is a 2-week sprint in Scrum Agile for QA engineer. Scrum, it's a name of a process to manage software development projects. Basically, it just dictates some rules and meetings that you will have according to this process. And usually it being organized in 2-week sprints in iterations. Each sprint commonly lasts 2 weeks, but in some teams on some projects it might be 1 week, 3 weeks, or even 4 weeks. But the commonly used one is 2 weeks by default. So this is how it looks like in Jira. Jira is your task management system. Basically, it's a website, in simple words, in which tasks will be assigned to you. So you will have your sprint board. There will be some columns like to do. All the tasks at the beginning will be in to do. Then while everyone will be working on the tasks, doing development, testing, and other activities, you will move them from the column in to do to in progress. And after our task is finished, it will be moved to closed column. So you will be simply drag and dropping them between the columns. So this is how the sprint looks in Jira. Usually it starts on Monday, ends on Friday in 2 weeks. At the beginning, before starting the sprint, you usually will have sprint planning meeting with developers, with the whole team, with developers, project manager, product owner, and Scrum Master. Product owner is a person who is responsible for the product overall. He will be actually assigning creating tasks in Jira for development and for testing. And Scrum Master is a person who facilitates all the meetings, and so his job is to make sure that the team is following the defined process of working with the tasks, that all the tasks being developed, tested, and moved throughout the process. So this is the Scrum Master responsibilities. Usually you will have more than one task within each sprint. If, for example, 10 tasks should be developed, 10 features should be implemented, then developers will be working on test tasks, and depending on how many QAs you will have in the team, the whole QA team will be testing everyone his own tasks. Maybe if you are the only one person in the team, you will be testing all 10 of them. Depending on the team size, your responsibility, project, company, and so on. So expect that you will have more than one task to complete, and usually when team commits, so sprint it's kind of overall team commitment that basically all of you as a team are committing that you promise to your product owner that you will complete all the development and testing of all the tasks that were taken or included into this sprint. So this is your commitment. If you will have not enough time for testing, basically usually it means that you cannot fulfill your promise, that you overcommitted, you did the wrong planning, or some other issues might appear along the way, but the common goal is to finish whatever you committed to as a whole as a team along with developers. At the beginning you will have kind of sprint planning meeting and you will start sprint in Jira. After the sprint is started, so during sprint planning, sometimes it's being held, sometimes it's being done for you by product owner. Sometimes you provide estimations that you might think what amount of time it will take for you to test all the tasks. Sometimes they will ask you for that, sometimes they don't. so it might be really in a different meaning. But anyway, somehow it will be planned and started to some extent, and at the beginning, while developers will be at the beginning of each sprint, basically in most cases you will not have anything to test because nothing has been delivered, implemented, and developed yet, right? So you can start looking at the tasks, plan and write your test cases in test management system. It might be Jira, it might be a separate one like test trail, Qtest, or whatever. So you can start working on the test cases preparation by looking at the tasks, regardless that they are not implemented yet. Then daily, usually in the mornings, you will have minutes daily sync-up call, also called Scrum stand-up call, where everyone says what he was working on yesterday, what he's working on today, or what he is planning on working on today, and if he has any blockers or some issues that blocks him from working on his tasks. For example, there might be, if you are in the middle of testing, in the middle of the sprint, and testing your test environment, your website, which one you are testing, went offline, basically it's a blocker for you because you cannot test anything. So stuff like that considered to be a blocker. You also should be reporting them in the morning during your stand-up calls. So if it's a remote work, remote position, work from home position, then it will be Zoom or MS Teams conference video call. In the office, usually, if you work in the office, usually you are being gathered at some conference room and everyone speaks about his tasks. Then after each task is ready for testing and deployed to test environment, basically you can create test execution or test run in test management system, again where you will be showing which test has what result, if it's passed or failed. So you will put your test set, create test execution from your test set and start executing those, put in results, marking them as passed or failed based on the test cases that you prepared earlier. Then you repeat the same for each task assigned to you within the sprint to complete the testing of all the tasks that will be assigned to you. At the end of the sprint, usually if being asked, you will do a demo to the project, to your product owner, to show what exactly was implemented at how. Usually it's being done by the test engineers, QA engineers, not by developers. So product owner can give you a feedback at the end of every sprint that if you as a team implemented the tasks the way he saw them at the beginning, and if this is what he wanted you to implement. So this is for getting feedback from the person who was asking to implement something from your product owner. Sometimes, demo meeting is not needed and not being asked to be held. So really depends on the company and on the project. In my particular company and project, I don't have demo meetings, for example. Also, at the end of second week, usually on Friday, the following Friday of the next week, you will be closing sprint in Jira, move all the tasks to closed, whatever was implemented. If something was not achieved, not implemented, or not fully tested, then it might be moved to the next sprint. But current one will be closed in Jira. You will be creating, not you personally, Scrum Master will create for you as a team the new sprint, and the whole iteration, 2-week iteration, will start from the beginning with the sprint planning and all described activities. Sometimes they also review team velocity chart in Jira. Basically, it's speed. It will show you the speed of work for the team For example, if you committed to 10 tasks but implemented or finished only 8, it means that you overcommitted and your chart, your burn down chart will be not looking so good. In reality, how does it used? Is this statistics used at all? Well, in my experience, no. But since the process dictates to have this meeting, sometimes and shows this burn down chart, sometimes they team reviews it. But in my experience, it's totally useless, honestly speaking. Because I have never seen anyone was making any improvements or conclusions based on burn down chart and team velocity. But it is how it is. And the last meeting that according to Scrum terminology or development methodology you should have is a retrospective meeting, when you as a team discuss what went well, what went wrong, how you can improve the process and so on. Again, this meeting also not always being conducted, not all the teams and project managers are interested in improving the process. It is how it is. So that's the overall description or overview, high-level overview of the Scrum process. You should have like this kind of high-level understanding that there will be some process in place and rules in place to follow when you're working with the tasks in Jira. Those rules might be different from company to company, from project to project, but when you will be onboarded on the project, got hired, you usually they will onboard you, explain all the processes and so on. Just remember that you will be most likely you will be doing all the tasks in Jira and working with Jira because this is the most popular task management system. And in all the companies that I worked for the last maybe 5 or 10 years, always Jira is being used as for task management. That's it for today. See you next time.